So I have with me Ikechi Obiagbalso Udegunam. I hope I got the name well. Okay, hello Ikechi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I know we've been on this for a while now, and I'm very sorry that it has to take this long. Ikechi is the executive director of Initiative for Women. I hope I don't meet that. Okay. Sorry, please pardon me. I'm trying to get the correct name for the organization. So okay, Ikechi is the founder and executive director of the Initiative for Women and Girls' Rights Advancement, IWOGRA. Okay, and today she will be taking us through the discussion on ending all forms of violence to women and girls. You know, today we are using this dialogue to commemorate two different events, actually. First is the Day of Zero Discrimination Day, and the second is the International Day of Women.
International Women's Day.
Adekechi, are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
So International Women's Day, pardon me, please. Okay. I guess the question is already in me already. So I'm just trying to catch my breath together because this has actually dealt with us before now. So, okay, so but before we go ahead, I would like to share my screen, and I want us to see a video that was that has been created by the United Nations in celebrating today. I hope you can see my screen, Kechi, and I hope my viewers can also see this. Okay, so let's get to it. All right, so yes, get on board. You need to get on board to make sure that we have a world where we have gender equality, where we do not have violence. We have zero violence to women and girls. So I won't be doing the talking today because I know you guys you're used to seeing my face. So we have Nkechi here who would help us do justice to the discussion for today. And trust me, it's going to be an interactive, fun-filled, and engaging moment. So please, if you are watching us live, be good enough to drop your questions so that we can add it to the video and you can join us live. Okay, so Nkechi.
All right.
Because of time, I couldn't read your profile because reading your profile would have made people know that you so it's not like, hello, can you hear me? Are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but the network, it was breaking.
Yes. Okay, so I said, so it's not like we are bringing a farmer to talk about the issues relating to medical doctors. So because you are fit for this discussion. So without wasting time, the focus of this discussion is for us to look at how to put an end to all forms of violence against women and girls. Now, this is not a new discussion. I'm sure we've been on this discussion for a while now. But if I should ask, how do you think the journey has been so far? Looking at Africa as a continent, probably using Nigeria as a case study, at what point are we right now in the fight against violence to women and girls?
That's an interesting question. Let me say thank you for having me, Lekon. And at least thank you for winning the technological challenges that wanted to frustrate the whole section. So, so to your question, how has it been? Well, the fight against violence against women did not start today. It is as old as man. Our foremothers, they fought for it. They were hoping they could change it. But till date, we are still facing the same thing. I remember what someone told me when I started my organization. He said, my dear, you see this issue, I fought for it for 25 years, and we are still where we are today. Do you think you can change it? I said, okay, you fought for it for 25 years. Do I think I can change it? I know I can't change it alone, but if we come together and develop new strategies, we will surely address this issue. So concerning violence against women and girls, it has always been there. But I must say that till date, there are changes. Looking at how people treat women then and how they see women now, the difference is clear. People are more aware now. They are more informed. There are laws in place now to prosecute offenders. So for me, there is a silver lining there. We are getting there. Though we are not there yet, but we are getting there.
Though we are not there yet, but we are getting there. You know, this will lead me to this question to ask that, okay, you said we've taken some steps that has moved us from where we used to be to where we are right now. But if I may ask, you know, for the sake of those who might not be probably aware of the kind of measures that have been taken, do you want to share with us what kind of measures has been put in place to tackle issues of violence against women and girls in Nigeria and Africa at large?
Okay, in Nigeria particularly, or even in Africa, violence against women and girls was seen as a norm. That is, when I talk about norm, I mean it was seen as something that is normal. It's normal to carry out female genital mutilation. It's normal for a man to beat the wife to correct her. It's normal for the girl child not to go to school while the boy child goes to school. It is normal. So these norms have always been there, but they violate the rights of the woman and the girl child. But now women are aware. There have been several campaigns, several sensitization programs, educating women, most especially women at the grassroots level, because these are the people that really need this information, but they don't have the information. So now most civil society organizations, NGOs, most especially women's rights organizations, are reaching the less rich community of women and girls. They are being educated now to know that these things they see as normal are not normal, that they are actually informed to even step down this knowledge to their fellow community women and girls. Now, initially, the law that talks about violence in Nigeria was the Penal Code and the Criminal Code that is applicable both in the South and in the North. But now, due to the solidarity of civil society organizations and other women's rights organizations, we have the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. That is the most robust law presently in Nigeria that addresses issues of violence against women and girls. Talk about every form of violence. It is covered by that act. The only problem with that act is that it is only applicable in FCT. For it to be applicable in other states, those states need to enact it to become a law in their states. So now there is a law to prosecute offenders of violence against women. But the issue is,
okay, let me try to exactly where I'm actually heading to. How many people are aware of this law? But I wanted to take some steps backward. Probably let's go to the beginning. Let's go to chapter 1 of this discussion, so that before we get to chapter 5, chapter 6, and 7, where we would come back to the issue of law, because we'll put that in the waiting room. We'll come back to that. But for the sake of those who might be wondering, okay, what is violence against women and girls? Does it entail me on? Is it when I beat a woman? Is it when I beat a girl child? Do you want to help us to probably give some background understanding to this discussion?
Okay, I think that's of abuse that you do to a person because she's a woman or because she's a girl, not because she's a person, but because she's a woman or a girl. That is violence against women and girls. And we know that when you see a woman who just said something and you give her a slap, you're giving her that slap because you feel she's a woman, she cannot challenge you. That is violence against that woman. On the issue of education, you're saying the girl child cannot go to school because she will end up in a man's kitchen, but the boy child will go to school. That is violence against a girl because you are perpetuating that because she is a female gender. So everything you do to exploit, to abuse, to maltreat, to discriminate, to dehumanize a woman or a girl, that is violence against women and girls.
I love the way you yes, I love the way anything you do to abuse, to discriminate, to dehumanize, those are very key words that are very pertinent to this discussion. And I hope someone out there who feels like, oh, this is not violence, can also learn from this. Please take every word serious. But before we go ahead, I want you all to know that this discussion, this dialogue is brought to you courtesy of Seed Africa Initiative for Youth Development. And this is in our efforts to also bring about a reformed Africa, where both women and men can both participate on equal grounds to lift and develop Africa. So this is done in relation to our Africa Reformers Movement, where we are bringing together change agents across the globe, across African continent rather, to become change agents to Africa's development. So you might want to check out the African Reformers Movement on Facebook as a group, a community where you can join, or you can also be free to follow us on Seed Africa at Seed Africa for more information on that. So let's go back. That is just like, when they say, let's go for adverts. So let's come back to the discussion with Nkechi. Okay, now let's come back to the aspect of the law. You said something initially that the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act is only effective in FCT. And it's kind of a little bit difficult because it has not been domesticated, or it's not been effective in some states in Nigeria. Why does it look impossible to have this law domesticated in some states? Because I know some states like Ogun State, Ekiti, already they've domesticated this act. So why is it difficult for other states to do this?
Okay, it's simple. Without mincing words, why this law is yet to be domesticated in most states is because of our cultural and religious inclinations. For some people, provisions of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, if enacted, will affect the implementation of some of their traditional and cultural beliefs and religious beliefs. For instance, now, the issue of wife beating, domestic violence, is prohibited by the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. It even comes with the punishment of imprisonment for the man who beats his wife, or you throw your wife's things outside the house. Now, in some of these northern states, where the penal code is applicable, Section 55 of the penal that a man has the right to beat the wife to chastise her. That is, a man has the right to beat the wife to correct her when she's wrong. So now, looking at a state that has such a law that promotes wife beating, how can you say you have the right to beat a woman to correct her? Now, if you're telling that state to enact the VAP Act, there is conflict already between the two laws. One is saying beat a woman to correct her. The VAP is saying you cannot beat a woman for no reason. So, such states now will be political when it comes to passing the VAP Act. And mind you, even for the states that have passed the VAP Act, some of them did not enact the full provisions of the VAP Act. They removed the sections that are in conflict with their personal interests. So I don't know if you are getting it. They removed some.
Yes, this is interesting.
Sections of the VAP Act, and look at the sections that are enacted by the states that have even enacted the VAP Act. Some remove some vital sections that will implicate the states when implementing it. And also because of our patriarchal nature, the supremacy of a man, that is our patriarchal nature in Nigeria. So if the VAP Act is passed simpliciter, that we have that a man has the right to do anything, everything, and at any time. So this is what is affecting the VAP Act. But for the states that have passed it, it was not an easy job. We believe that the other states will be convinced too to see that passing this act is for the benefit of everyone. So I think let me not talk to her, because if you leave me, I will talk.
Okay, Nkechi, talking about the law. I know, when it comes to issues of law, because you are a lawyer, and this is your focus. When it comes to issues of women, I know it's your focus. So I won't be surprised actually if we keep on going and going on this. But I want to ask, why is it kind of difficult for us to have, using Nigeria as a case study, difficult for us to have a single law? Because now we have the penal code. I know sometimes we also go into the criminal law, the criminal act. I can't remember the way it's being called. And what did you say?
The criminal code.
Yes, the criminal code. Yes, and we now have the VAP Act. Now it's like there's this discrepancy between these different codes and acts and policies. How is it possible, or should I ask, is it possible actually for us to have all this brought together? Though I know the VAP Act is also trying to address some issues in the penal code and the criminal code that relates to violence. But is it possible for us to have a single act, where we don't have to say, oh, in the North, they are holding on to the penal code, and so they find it difficult to work with the VAP Act? Is there a way for us to, bring all this together for the benefit of everybody?
Okay, the kind of system we operate in Nigeria, we operate a federal system. Yes, there is the federal government and we have the state government. Remember, the state government, they also have the autonomy to decide on some issues. So where they have the autonomy to decide, I don't want to be using the legal terms, you understand it. Where they have the autonomy to decide, the federal government cannot make a law and impose it on them. But the problem with the VAP is that the VAP expressly said that this law will be applicable only in the FCT. So that is what made that VAP Act not to be applicable generally. If the law had stated it there that the law would be applicable in all the states of the Federation, that would have been possible. So the only way we can codify all this law for every of them to be applicable to everyone in Nigeria is to incorporate them in the Constitution. The Constitution of Nigeria is the ground norm. applicable to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Can incorporate all this into the Constitution, then everybody is bound by it. The penal code, the penal code that is applicable in the North, the criminal code that is applicable in the South, are all subject to the Constitution. So if we put all these things in the Constitution, then other states have no choice but to amend their laws to fit to what the Constitution is saying. Otherwise, their provisions becomes invalid. So it still boils down
to
that. Okay.
Okay, so pardon me for that. You know, I know we've been having this discussion about the need to review the Constitution, the Nigerian Constitution. So I know that probably when we get to that junction where we have the political will, yes, because that is the most important thing. When we have the political will to say yes, it's time for us to review this Constitution, then we can forge ahead with this discussion about how we can collide these laws together for the benefit of women and for the benefit of the men also, for the benefit of everybody. But so let's take a little digression from issues of law. But please, if in case you're watching, we'd like to hear from you. We'd like to get your questions. If you have questions for Nkechi about what has been said, or probably you have issues that you would really like her to address, please be free to drop this in the comment section. You can also drop your suggestions, your recommendations in the comment section, or send us an invite to join us live. You have the opportunity to actually talk to her one-on-one. So let's move ahead to the next question now. Digressing a little bit from the issues of law. Now, while you were speaking earlier, you made mention of how our culture and our tradition somehow made it difficult for us to get to that that destination we are looking at in this in the fight against violence against women and girls. So I want to ask, is there a way we can harness the power of culture and tradition and religion? Because as Africans, I must tell us, we hold our culture in high esteem, we hold our traditions, we hold our religion in high esteem. What role can our culture, our tradition, and religion play to put an end to violence against women and girls?
Okay. The role of culture and tradition. One thing we know is that culture is being implemented by man. It does not enforce itself. We have the custodians of this culture. So if we want culture to play a role in ending violence against women and girls, then we need to engage the custodians of this culture. And not just the custodian of this culture, we need to engage those that this culture is applicable to. If there are cultures that promote violence against women and girls, and we want these cultures to be against violence against women and girls, then one, we need to engage the traditional rulers. Most of the traditional rulers are not so informed about these cultures that violate the rights of women. So if we engage these traditional rulers, sensitize them, make them understand that violence against women is real, it is a crime, and there is need to deviate from it. Once we get them, because they are the gatekeepers of the community. So once we get the traditional rulers, we are halfway to our destination in using culture to address violence against women. Because once the traditional rulers are now saying widowhood right should end, no man should be the wife. But once they make all these decrees or all these bylaws at the community level, then everybody is bound by it. Then aside the traditional rulers, there is need to engage men and boys. If you're talking about violence against women and girls, who are those perpetrating it? We are sincerely, we're talking about men and boys. They are the perpetrators of violence against men and girls. So we need to also talk to the men. We can't be speaking to women alone that violence against women must stop. No. Talk to the perpetrators, make them have a change of perception. Once the men have a change of perception, they will champion the fight against the cultures that promote violence against women and girls. But if you permit me, I will give an
Okay, Nkechi,
illustration that.
let me quote you. Okay, please go ahead. If I cut you, please go ahead with your illustration, please.
Okay. To address issues of cultural norms that promote violence against women and girls, I like to give the story of the concrete slab. The story of the concrete slab is the story of a barrack that has a slab that is always being guarded by 2 soldiers. I'll be quick with the story. For so many years, nobody questioned why 2 soldiers were guiding that concrete slab until they got a new general who questioned it. But everybody told him that is the practice. 2 soldiers must guard that slab. He carried out a research to find out why 2 soldiers are guiding that slab. And because of his research, he found out that when they plastered that slab, goats used to go there and mess it up. So they will plaster it again. Goats will go there and mess it up. And because of that, they ordered that 2 soldiers should always put that slab. But before it would get dry, the general in charge then was transferred. Another one came in and they continued with that practice for years. So where am I going to? It is important for us to question some of these norms, some of these cultures. How did they start? Hello, are we still together?
Yes, we are together. Please go ahead, please.
We need to question if we want to change norms so norms can address violence against women. We need to make the people at the community, the traditional rulers, to question how did this violence come to be? Well, how did the issue of beating your wife correct her? How did it come to be? How did it come to be that women should be punished after the death of their husbands? If we can the issues of violence